Namaste everyone, it's time for our weekly flow practice. So this is a dynamic practice where we're going to be moving quite frequently. So if you need to take a rest at any point, it's your yoga, then you just make sure you rest or settle into a pose that's at a level that suits you. Remember, pain isn't part of yoga, nor is trembling, so just make sure that you're going to be comfortable in all the poses. So bringing ourselves into Tadasana, today's practice is going to be quite familiar to you, part of what used to be called the primary series. So we're going to just work through some familiar vinyasa style poses. So to start with, familiarity can breed contempt, where we just sort of think, oh, it's this pose again, or I know this one really well. So I'd like you to think about how you can engage or firm up the legs, firm up the arms, firm up the bandhas, the tummy, your pelvic floor and your tummy, to just provide maybe something slightly different, maybe a different counterpoint in each of the poses. So in your Tadasana, bring your hands together into Namaste, open up the fingers quite wide and press all of the joints into each other. Roll the shoulders back and down and just tuck the shoulder blades into the back ribs so that the heart center just lifts toward the thumbs. Tuck the chin in, stretch through the top of the head, and lifting up and out, just lightly firm the legs, lightly firm your abdominals and your pelvic floor, and just stay here for a moment. Focusing in, checking in on how you are today, breathing here. Ujjayi breath if it's comfortable for you. Tuning into yourself and making sure then that each of these breaths becomes longer and deeper as you practice them. So taking 2 or 3 more breaths here. So if you need to stay in Tadasana a little bit longer, that's fine. I'm going to bring some movement in now. So take a deep breath in. I'm going to open up the palms to the side. Roll the shoulders back and down and lift the arms out to the side. Stretch out, drop down, soften the elbows a little bit. Breathe here. Now maybe the chest is feeling a bit less constrained. Continue the movement on up to the arms above the head if that's comfortable. And breathe out. Fold at the waist, stick the bottom out, bend the knees and stretch forward. Place the hands on the shins, roll the shoulders back and down, tuck the tail under as you stretch and look up. So the back is more a ski slope rather than flat. Feel the back activate. And breathe out, fold. Either stay with the back level to the floor, hands can stay on shins if that's better, or breathe out and fold. Softness is good here. Fold the arms, lift the tail, firm up the legs. Legs can be really bent. And if you so desire, you can bend the knees quite a lot and just arrange the torso on the thighs. Bend the knees quite substantially now. Breathe in, draw the breath all the way up through the body, up to the top, and breathe out. Take a deep breath in. Continue up to the top now. Stretch up, lengthen, star the hands, drop the shoulders down and in. Breathe out, soften the knees, bend the knees, hands to shins, roll the shoulders back and down, tuck the tail under, lift up. Breathe out, fold. Hands to shins is fine, or hands to the floor, flattening the back. And then breathe out, fold if you can. Folding the arms, lifting the tail, firming the legs and the bandhas. Shaking the head for no, gently. Nodding the head for yes, gently. Just see if you can free up some space in the neck. Soften, push the feet away, lift the breath all the way up to the top. And breathe out. Just settle a moment. Just notice how a little bit of movement has brought different feelings into different places in the body. So just take note of that. Maybe something's niggling already. Hamstrings, bottom, lower back, mid-back, shoulders, neck. So just pay attention to that as we enter into a little bit more movement. Take a deep breath in. More movement now through series A. Breathing out. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Tent the hands, stride the right leg back and hold. Firm up the legs, curl the tail under as you lengthen and try to draw the legs together. Holding here in this high lunge, and then lower the gaze, bring the right leg in, lengthen, breathe in, and breathe out, stride back on the left leg. Firm up the legs, push the floor away, straighten the back foot and the leg, bringing the heel above the foot as best you can, but drawing that leg in, and then pull those legs together. Breathing here, lengthening. Lovely. Looking up, breathing in, bring that leg forward, breathe out, fold, softness is fine. Soften even more, push the floor away, breathe in, and breathe out. We'll take it one step further. Deep breath in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Stride right, stride left. To your plank, firm up, push the heels of the hands and grip the floor with your hands. Lowering and then lifting the heels above the feet, firm up the legs, draw them into the belly and stretch away. Lovely. Knees to floor, push back to your child pose. Swan stretch or child pose. Half child, stretching away, extended, fan open the hands out to the sides of the body. If it's easier, bend the arms and bring them in. Lovely. Bring the hands now in line with the shoulder heads, or maybe a tiny bit wider. Open up, think about how you're going to build the base of your down dog. Roll the shoulders back and down, kick the heels of the hands into the floor, L's down, grip the floor, tuck the toes under, lift your tail, bring yourself up into a soft dog. Soft knees, higher heels, and just lengthen out of the shoulders. But draw the arms back into the shoulders as you lift the tail away. So in effect, it feels that the arms are travelling in the same direction. The arms are pulling in as the tail pulls away. Lovely. Deep breath in, look up, stride left, stride right, extend, breathe out, fold, and then breathe in. Keep the joints soft if you prefer, that's all good. And breathe out. Moving it on just a step more, deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Left, then right. To knees to floor if you prefer. This is much the preferred way for chaturanga if you're not sure about your strength in your upper body or problems with the lower back. Up to up dog, and it's about length, not height here. And breathe out, fold. Tuck the toes under, push through the knees, firm up at the front, grip the floor, kick the heels in, roll the shoulders away, then draw the arms back into the body as the tail lengthens away. And then we're just trying to lift those tops of thighs backwards. So we're going to take an exercise in a moment where we're just going to push back through the tops of the thighs so you can remind yourself how the sort of biomechanics of that feels. Okay, from your dog, look up, take a deep breath in, stride right and extend, stride left, breathe out, fold. Soften it off, bring it all the way up and breathe out. I'm going to turn sideways now so you can see the difference here. So in our first Uttanasana, we're going to have our hands here. So just below the sort of groin crease, okay, just at the tops of the thighs. You might have your finger on that bony protuberance that's just below the hip bone. So hip bone's here, and then we've got the bony protuberance here, the greater trochanter. So just maybe press yourself, thumbs around that. So deep breath in, lift up, lift the chest, breathe out, fold, and we're going to lengthen out, lift and pull back those tops of thighs. Can you feel the difference here as you fold over? Lovely. So take that one more time. Deep breath in, lift the chest, breathe out, lengthen out, suck the bandas in, firm up the legs, grip the floor with the feet as you draw backwards through the tops of the thighs. If you then want to change it into your Uttanasana, that is fine too. Okay, breathing here, just going to take a quick drink, got a bit of a frog in my throat. Okay, lovely. Place the hands from your Uttanasana, striding back right, stride left. Plank firming up, gripping the floor. Chaturanga or knees down, sliding through, lengthen the spine, press the feet in, lift the knees off the floor, firm up the legs. And then tuck the toes under, slide back to your down dog. Make your adjustments. Heels of the hands in, L's, grip the floor, roll the shoulders. Lift up, draw the arms in as you lift the tops of those thighs backwards. Fan open the toes. Lovely. Stretching away. Deep breath in, left, right. Extend if you want to help with those lower, those top of thighs, that's great. And then breathe in all the way back up. Breathe out. It's quite warm in here, so if I start fiddling with the door and opening windows and things, it's just so I don't pass out. Okay, so that's our sun salutation A. We're going to take our B now and take a few variations here as we work through B. So carefully does it then. Feet together, knees together. Think about that swing and lift of those thighs moving backwards. So just to get that hinge of the pelvis just right. Take a deep breath in. Lift the arms up. Draw the shoulders in and down. Lift the heart. Sink down into your Utkatasana, fierce pose. Breathing here. Lovely. Still popping the heart through to the front. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride or jump back into your plank. Chaturanga to your up dog. Lift those knees off the floor, but press the feet in. And slide back to your down dog. Make your adjustments. Check that you're drawing in nicely and just firming up those tops of thighs. Deep breath in. Right leg high. We're going to take some variations here. Stretch up and then sweep it through to the front. Okay, lovely. Bring the right hand inside, spin the left foot out. Press in, firm up, draw the feet towards each other and stretch up and away, but you're lifting the heels. Stretch up, breathe in, breathe out, spin, plank, chaturanga to up dog, and push back to your down dog. Settle, left leg high, sweeping it through, straight bend, you decide. Sweep it through, left hand inside, spin the foot. Firm the feet up, draw the legs in, lift the hips as you stretch up and away. Keep breathing, keep lifting the hips here. Usually we just feel like we're firming up towards the floor, but there's a buoyancy and then a drawing together of the legs and the hips stay buoyant. Breathe in, swap, chaturanga to your up dog. Push through and back to your down dog. Adjust yourself. Draw the arms in, draw the legs in, lift the tops of the thighs. Deep breath in, slide or jump through to the front. Extend, maybe hooking in, lengthening. Breathing out, fold. Makes a difference, believe it or not. Breathe in, bend the knees, push and gather the energy in. Up to your Utkatasana. Breathe out. Lovely. So another change here, so coming up this time into a warrior one, so not just keeping it in that low Vashisthasana style twist, lizard style twist. So take a deep breath in, breathe out, firming up, breathe in, and place. Stride or jump, through you go. Chaturanga to your up dog. Float if you can, use the knees if you can't, and push back. Settle, right leg high, sweep through to the front. Firm up, so up to you. You can have a high heel above the toe joints, straight back leg, and lift up. This really creates a nice dynamic to open up the hip flexor. Breathing here, lengthening up and out the front of the body. Breathe out. If you prefer a more standard warrior one, that's fine too. And push back. Left leg high this time. Keep firming. Keep thinking of the principles that you apply in each of these poses. High heel, straight leg, push down, draw in, bring yourself up, lengthen up and away, but firming that back leg. Just feel the openness through the hip flexor into the quads. Breathe out. All the way through. And push back. Down dog, settle. Feel free if you need to. Drop your knees down to the floor. Sit yourself back, swan stretch. Still thinking about that interaction here at the tops of the thighs. That scooping in to allow that tilting of the pelvis and the lengthening out of the lower back. Child for you may not be a bent back affair, it might be a flat back affair. That's absolutely fine too. Find where your back is most comfortable. Take a deep breath in. Back into your dog if you were down. Look up. And we're going to spring forward. We're going to think about looking up. Draw the arms into the body. Draw the pelvis up and spring forward. Yay. Lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Soften. Push the floor away. We're going to work on that jump forward again in a minute. And breathe out. Lovely. Variation number 3 on B, okay? Paying attention to how we're feeling in some of these very familiar poses. So, Utkatasana, pushing halfway, draw the energy up, drop the tail, curl. Breathe out, fold. Lift the tops of thighs. Breathe in, extend. Place, stride or jump. Through you go. Chaturanga to your up dog or variation to protect your back. Firm up the legs. And push back to your down dog. Right leg high. Sweep it through. Warrior 2 version. Knee nicely aligned. Push the floor away. Lift up through the hips and stretch away and settle. Breathe out, fold. Through to your chaturanga, to your up dog. Float if you can. Push back and settle. Left leg high. Sweep it through. Find your alignment. Heel and midline. Draw the legs together. Buoyant hips. Draw yourself up. Stretching away. Breathe out all the way down. Through your chaturanga to your up. And back to your down. And hold. Take a moment. Soften the dog if you need to. If you need to push the toe joints into the floor. Lift the heels so you look like you're on a proper pair of stilettos here. Particularly focusing on the joint of the big toe. Sometimes a really nice stretch for the ankles and the plantar fascia underneath the foot. Deep breath in. Thinking about the leap forward here. So again, draw the energy into the arms, draw the arms into the body, look up, but think about lifting the tail as you scoop forward. So it's like the reverse of this scoop back of the tops of the thighs, drawing the tops of the thighs forward. Extend, breathe out, fold. Soften the knees off, draw yourself up, and breathe out. So if you wanted it to be a hot yoga session, it's possibly turning into that. It's quite warm today and we've had a lot of warm weather. So if heat is building and you need it to drop down, fine and dandy. Or if you enjoy the heat, then allow the heat to build. Just going to open the door a tiny bit. Okay, so then, having finished our vinyasas and trying to warm up the joints, a few more bits and bobs to do here in our standing poses. So, our not Paschimottanasana, talking rubbish, Padangusthasana, Padahastasana. So carefully does it then. Up to you, feet together, traditional style, or work carefully within the sort of width of your pelvis. Take a deep breath in, sweep up, think about the tops of those thighs already. Firm the legs up, stretch up and away, grip the floor and push into it to help activate the knees. And then breathe out, fold, lift those thighs up and away as you fold down. Hands to toes, Padangusthasana, extended, bound, forward fold. Keep drawing those thighs back and up and fold down. Extend away, breathe in, swap to your Padahastasana if that is what you want to do. So bringing the hands underneath. I'm a big fan of opening up the feet slightly, just so I can really widen the hands and press all of the wrist joint and all of the finger joints into the floor. But if you prefer to do it a different way, that's fine too. Extend, breathe out, fold. Lifting up, even weight here between toes and heels. Difficult because you've got that slight sort of gradient through the foot, but just make sure that you're working on pressing through the four corners of the feet. Free the hands from underneath the feet. Extend, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. If you want to make that Ardha Uttanasana, that's fine too. Nice stretch and activation of the muscles of the back. Soften the knees, push the floor away, breathe in. Lift up and breathe out. So far, so familiar. So then we're going into our standing balances. Up to you here. Option, if you feel sufficiently warm today and you maybe done some walking, cycling, running, or something where you feel you've got the legs kind of oiled up, moving, then you can go into the standing half lotus version. So up to you, but if there's any pain in the knee, you come straight out of this one. So you're tucking the foot into the groin, dropping that knee down like a sort of postal flap, almost like flapping it down, okay? Stretching up, getting that tail nicely balanced. So you're thinking about the tops of the thighs and the interaction with the tops of the thighs to the pelvis. Not well balanced. Oh, I know why, because I'm in that little crease in the floor. So foot's very proprioception, very switched on at the moment through my feet. So stretching up and away. Breathe out. You can stretch up and fold. Lower yourself down. You can bend the base knee and settle here. You can have hands to namaste. You don't have to go all the way down. If you do want to go all the way down, I would just keep this knee buoyant as you fold down. Option to bind here if you want to, around the big toe. Stretching up and breathing out, folding. I find there's a risk here with locking out the knee of the base leg. So just keep that awareness. Grip the floor with your foot. Push the floor in. Draw that awareness and firmness up the leg, and hopefully then you won't feel like you're locking out the knee. Carefully does it then. Bends your knee to come out of it. It's a bit safer that way. You can activate the thigh muscles and the glutes. Push the floor away. Bring yourself back up. Release that off. Onto the other side. Take a deep breath in. Obviously, if you don't want to do the half lotus version, absolutely fine to take the alternative standing balance. We're going to do that in a minute anyway. So take a deep breath in. Draw the left leg up. Any pain in the knee, you can always turn this into a tree pose, and it can be as low, medium or high tree. Again, this foot is having trouble at the minute. Deep breath in. Stretching up and away. Firm up the legs. Soften the knee as you fold down. You might want to stay here if this is enough. We're going very well today. So, it was all right earlier. Now it's not all right. Stretching out, folding. Going down to the floor if you prefer. Into the bind if you can get yourself round. Stretch away and lengthen. And breathe out, fold. Gripping the floor. Settling into your pose. And when you're ready to, breathing in, softening the knee and bringing yourself all the way back up. Definitely need to practice that one a bit more at home, I think, for me. Okay, so then, standing balance, we'll take it from low down because this helps the proprioception and it also helps the sort of balance awareness that you have between ears, eyes, feet. So we're going to take Uttanasana first. Deep breath in, stretch up, breathe out, fold. Feel free to tuck those hands in and lift the thighs up and away, and breathe out, fold for that really lovely deep Uttanasana. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Soften the knees. Catch the right toe into your Ardha Hasta Padangusthasana. Push the floor away. Draw and firm the legs to help with the rise. Firm the abdominals. And stretch away into pose A. Up to you. You can catch the knee, the shin, the ankle, or the toe. The leg doesn't have to be straight as long as you're focused on a nice, even, straight spine, firming up, bringing the pose to where you're comfortable. Okay, it doesn't have to be mega. Carefully does it. Anyone with an SI issue or piriformis syndrome, just be very careful with this one. I wouldn't go much further than the 45 degrees. Okay, the external rotation of the hip can sometimes aggravate those conditions. Anything related to the SI joint. Taking it out to the side, or alternatively, if you're in the bind, drop the heels slightly out to the side. Up to you. Deep breath in, standing here. Flex the foot, does help. And bring it right angle. Draw the leg back in. Flick it out in front of you. Point the toe. Draw the leg. Firm the leg up. Bring it back into position for C. We're opening up the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together, and hold. And soften. Release that off. Uttanasana. Breathing in. Breathe out. Take your hands if that helps. Stretch and lift and fold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Soften it off. Catch that foot. Ardha Hasta Padangusthasana on the other side. Catching up into the bind. Your call, whether you then straighten out or not. Extend away. Your call. Lots of hand positions in this one. So you find where you're happiest. Simple knee, hand to knee is absolutely fine. Again, issues with hips. Hip people in my classes, you know who you are. So just be careful with this one. Opening out to the side, again, not past the 45 degree if you know that's going to really aggravate something in the deep in the bum or in the back. Lovely. Draw it back into centre. Firm up those legs. Grip the floor with the base and flex that foot. Open up the chest. Lift and stretch away. So you're using the floor as an active sort of sounding board, pushing away and release it off. Lovely. Vinyasa. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Place. Breathe out, fold. Stride or jump through your chaturanga or knees down to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Take a moment to firm up, draw the arms in, grip the floor, look up, lift the thighs and the pelvis. Extend and breathe out, fold. And soften, push the floor away, bring yourself all the way back up. And breathe out. Fantastic, excellent. So we've done our standing balances, our forward folds. Okay, so now we're going into our side angle stretches. So carefully does it then here. I'm going to take a deep breath in. We're going to stride. So actually we'll go through a half cycle first. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold, place. Jump back. High plank, grip the floor. Extend. Spin the feet to the side and twist. Draw the feet towards the body as you lift the hips and stretch. Vashisthasana, sometimes called Diabolasana, because it's pretty diabolical. Spin, swivel over the feet, lift the hips and extend up and away. Flexing the feet, drawing the four sides of the feet up towards the knees. Lovely. Release that off.
to your down dog. Take a moment, firm the arms up, lift the tops of the thighs and stretch away. Deep breath in, right leg high. I'm going to turn to the side now. Right leg high, through to the front. Okay, Parsvakonasana to start with. I'm going to chop the foot out. Up to you how wide you go. Some people go very wide in this one. Depends on how warm you are. Firm up to start with your hand on the floor. And just bring the knee to the outside of the toes. It's slightly further wider than you maybe would, but nicely aligned here, shin and floor. Breathe in, lift the hips and stretch. And roll the inner thighs out. Firm up the legs and then draw the feet together. Extend. Here, then taking it into Trikonasana. Same position, draw that leg up by drawing the hips up higher. Stretch away, lengthen. If you want to be up, more level, that's fine too. If you want to use a block, even better. Take a deep breath in, release it down. Up onto the back foot. Lower the back knee down, lower the back foot. If you want to stretch out the foot, feel free to have the toes tucked under for this one. Deep breath in, low Anjaneyasana. Draw the legs together. Find this position. Just make sure that knee's flopping out slightly so you can see some of the toes. And lift up and lengthen. Lovely. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride back. Into your plank, up dog. And push back to your down dog. Left leg high, sweeping through to the front. Spin, find your ideal Parsvakonasana position. Just going to change around. Lovely. Pushing into the floor, draw the legs back, lift the hips up, firm up, draw the legs together and push the floor away. You're gripping the floor with the feet to firm and protect the knees. Lovely. Excellent. Into your Trikonasana, lift the hip, straighten the leg, extend, or make it a bit higher. Your call. Keep drawing the legs together, lifting the hip, lengthening, firm up those legs. Excellent. Fantastic. Breathe out, spin it round. Drop that back knee down, keep those toes tucked under if you want to stretch or flatten the foot. Push the floor away as you draw the legs together. Lift up, 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 and open into that low Anjaneyasana. Back bend option here, but keep the fail long and keep the legs firm. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride back. Chaturanga to your up dog. Press the feet in, firm the legs, and push back. Do your down dog. Settle for a moment. Firm up, draw in, lift your tail, lengthen away. Everything sort of almost concertina-ing. Keep lifting, breathe in, look up, keep the firming, and lift the tail. Lengthen, breathe out, fold. Soften, push through the floor, bring yourself up, and breathe out. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Hot already, I would imagine. Okay, so coming now then, again, thinking about how you can make subtle changes to these familiar poses. Okay, so into the reverse prayer, straight leg Purdvottanasana. Okay, so I'm going to just bring the feet to hip distance apart. Stride back with the right leg. Straightening up, so we've done that straight leg Trikonasana now to just try to really firm up and open up the hips. So it's up to you. You can do you can just do a simple Namaste hands for this one. Just focus on hinging and that lift of the upper thigh into the back, sort of back arena, as it were, into the sort of dorsal plane. So, or reverse prayer or an semblance of. So, smiling round. Find your pose. If that's just holding, find where you can just draw in. If you're nice and warm, open up the collarbones, that's the word I'm looking for. Firm up the legs here. Push down through the back heel, lengthen. Open the chest a bit more. Breathe out, draw the legs In, keep firming, keep leveling. And breathe out, fold. Less about lengthening and touching the leg, more about just really keeping long and lifting those thighs and stretching through the top of the head. Hair's all over my mat. Deep breath in, bring yourself up. Keep the hands where they are, either swap over or spin around depending on which way you're facing if you're watching. If you know Padmasana on this side, no problem at all. Firm the legs up. Press the heel in of the back foot. Lift and open. Draw the energy, firming up the legs as you go over. Lifting the tops of those thighs and breathing out. Lift the elbows, press the hands together. Open up the collarbones. Breathing here. Keep firming up through the feet, the legs, the bandhas. And when you're ready, you can soften that knee off if you want to. Bring yourself up. Oh, release the hands. Yes, they're still there. Amazing. And step yourself forward. Shake the arms out if you need to. Sometimes really sort of active clapping helps just get blood flow back into those arms. Really fling the arms around, front and back, front and back, front and back. Frees up any lactic acid left in the wrists and opens up the shoulders a little bit more after that quite static pose. Okay, well done everyone for getting there so far. Over halfway through now, so good work. Carefully then, going to bring ourselves into those wide angle stretches again. This time, it's a really sort of now looking at that external rotation of the hips. Excuse me, very dry throat. Not corona, more likely hay fever. So, I'm going to go into that Prasarita series. Half vinyasa to start with. Deep breath in, sweep up. Breathe out, fold, lift, lengthen. Think of the tops of the thighs now. Breathe in, extend. Place, stride or jump. Through your chaturanga to your up dog. Grip the floor with the hands and draw the shoulders down. And firm up those legs. And push back into your down dog. Take a moment. Take a deep breath in. Stretch the right leg high. Sweep it through to the front and spin yourself round. So wide legs then, up to you. General rule sort of is wrists and ankles in line with each other. Sometimes a bit hard to tell unless you're looking in a mirror. If it's a bit wider than that, you might feel it in here. Find the ideal distance for you. Soften the knees off, but firm the legs. Grip the floor, push through the pinky and draw the energy up into the legs and the legs straighten. Deep breath in, stretch up. If this is too much on the lower back, have the hands lower. Draw the energy up into the tops of the thighs. And then as if you've got your hands there, you can do it with your hands on the tops of the thighs. Breathe out, fold. Keep lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Bring the hands into position underneath the shoulder heads. Shoulders roll back and down the back. Tuck the elbows in, lengthen. Firm up the legs again as you breathe out and fold down. Walk the hands back further. Option here to take the hands through and drag yourself through using the stickiness of the mat, but the legs are really firm. Deep breath in. Draw the hands through. Wrists, inner wrists facing forward. Draw the shoulders down. Extend away. Nice wrist stretch after those Padmasanas. Lovely. Soften the knees off. Hands to hips. Come all the way up if you need to. Firm up again. You may need to catch behind and just to get those shoulders working. Stretch away and breathe out, fold. Lift and lengthen and tuck those thighs back as you come down through the middle. Depending on the length of your torso, length of your legs, the width of the legs, you may not get all the way through. Really thinking of activating the psoas, other deep muscles here, thinking about that lift. If you want to take it again with that lift, lifting the thighs up and away, that's fine too. Coming up to halfway, stretching away. Soften the knees off if you want to come all the way up. Deep breath in here. Sweep the arms round into that clasp. Push the floor away with the legs and the feet. Firm up the legs. Shoulder blades together. Lift the clasp up, up and away, and then breathe out, lift and lengthen. So those thighs tipping back as you go over. Just take a moment. You may want to just take a little bit of sort of gentle freeing work, depending on what's going on with your back. Lengthening away here, firm up, press through the feet. Lift that activity up. Follow the clasp all the way back up this time. Take a deep breath in, stretch up, lengthen, firm up, and breathe out. Hinge all the way down. Reaching for the toes this time. Okay to bring them in a little bit if you prefer. Okay. Pressing through the feet. Stretching away, elbows out, draw the shoulders down the back as you guide, and I mean guide. I'm not gripping very far here, to bring yourself through underneath. Lovely. Deep breath in, lengthen. And soften. Breathe out. Bring yourself all the way back up. Turn your, whichever foot actually, I think it's the right foot, should be facing the front of the mat. Stride yourself back. Deep breath in. Breathe out, hinging, thinking of the thighs. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride or jump. Through you go. Chaturanga. Draw and firm up those legs. Drop the shoulders down the back. Lengthen. And breathe out. Down dog. Settle for a moment. Take a moment here. Draw in. And this is your rest pose. Lovely. Excellent. So, carefully does it here. Going to take a deep breath in, sweep the right leg high, through to the front. Okay, up, high heel. Lovely. Stretch up and away. And we're going to take ourselves out to the side. So hands out towards the top left corner of the mat. High heel, firm leg at the back. Breathe in, extend. And breathe out. If you need to caterpillar that foot further forward, and then you're going to reach out, 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 but both legs are firming, firming, firming. You may get lower than the thigh. Keep firming in, keep drawing the legs in together. Lovely. Breathing here. Nice hip opener. And walk the hands back in. Hands back into that plank position. Stride the leg back. Settle. Down dog. Take a moment, left leg high, sweep through to the front, firm up the back legs, quite a deep lunge this. So bring the heel high, pressing through the balls of the toes, draw the leg in, press through, spin out to the side, lengthen, and then breathe out. Keep lifting the hips as you then stretch and lower, firming up the legs. Keep the heel high and keep stretching away. Like a strange lizard pose. Breathing here, keep lifting the hips, firming, firming, and then bring yourself back in. Deep breath in, place, breathe out all the way down. Breathing in, up dog, and breathing out, hinging, down dog. Take a moment, settle. Lifting the hips, lifting the legs, settling the feet. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. Look up. Stride or jump forward to the front of the mat. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, soften, push the floor away. Bring yourself all the way back up and breathe out. Lovely. So thinking of all the firming and the work we've been doing around this, the hips, the pelvis, the lift of the hips this time, the focus on this area at the top of the thigh to really engage and open the lower back and also activate the pelvis in the right way. Let's have a think about how we can do that when we go into warriors. So we're going to take a warrior 3. So your call here, I'm going to take it from more of a down dog plank position. So deep breath in, breathe out, fold, lift up those thighs, breathe in, extend, place, stride or jump, plank. Lovely. Down dog if you prefer. If you don't like plank, go into dog if it's more restful for you. Excellent. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Sweep the right leg high, sweep it through to the front. Lift the torso out of the way. Step forward so you're ready to launch off. Firm up the legs first. So push down, lift up, lengthen. Sweep the arms forward, catch, and just hinge into position. So firming up the legs first really helps with this position. Lowering it down with grace. Now stabilise your feet. Swap sides, back to your down dog, settle the pelvis. Left leg high, sweep through, shorten the stance, heel high, push down through the floor. Lift the torso, bring the arms up, draw the energy in. Push the floor away, lift the hips, and then launch off. So it's that buoyancy of the pelvis, that drawing in of those, firming up the legs, drawing in of the energy to the pelvis, scooping up the top of that thigh, both sides, into the leg, and draw in. Firming up, and carefully does it. I've got a slight injury on this hamstring here, so I'm just taking that one carefully on that side. Carefully does it then. Back to standing position. Going to take ourselves down to the floor now. So, deep breath in, sweeping up, and breathing out. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Play, stride or jump. Through you go to up dog. Grip the floor, kick the heels in, open the chest. Push back and hold. Take a deep breath in, look up. This time I'm going to lift the pelvis even higher, get your nose out of the way, and cross the legs as you come through to sit down. Lovely. So, getting ourselves sat down, Dandasana pose in itself. What we want to do here is use the heels a little bit for maybe a little bit more sort of, God, mine's gone blank, ignore that. Right, so you're going to activate those legs, firm them up, okay, lift the toes towards the nose, use that activation to sit up and out, and place the hands here. Drop the heels down and drag them into the body. Isometrics, that's the word I was looking for. Duh. For some reason I was thinking about something beginning with P. Keep breathing. Holding the pose. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. We're going to catch the inside of the right foot with the right leg. We're going to draw into archer. Okay. Bring the arm around the leg and cradle. Flexing the foot, lift up, and just gently rock from side to side. Pushing through the heel, splaying the toes, and then drawing the energy up the leg into the hip. Banda's working hard here. Fantastic. Swap this into the Ekapada elephant's trunk. Bring the hands forward, draw the shoulders down the back, lift the chest, activate the tops of the thighs, and lift. Hold. Grip the floor with your hands. Lovely. Keep breathing here. Splay the feet. Aye. Release off. Release that off. Fantastic. Onto the other side. Feel free to just draw the buttocks back. Okay. And the outside of the thighs out slightly. So, onto the other side. Catch the inside of the foot. Draw it back into that archer position. Swap hands, bring the arm around, cradling the foot, lift the foot high, splay the feet, activate, and draw that leg back in, using the thigh muscles. Breathing here, slight rocking is allowed, but just be careful. Okay, lovely. Release that off, and take variations on cow face shortly. Ekapada, rucksack that leg. Catch it back in, splay the feet, draw the legs up, lift the chest, and launch yourself up. Keep activating the legs, firm, 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 grip the floor. Lovely, release it off. Legs out, straight out to release the pelvis. Cross the legs, half vinyasa, roll over. And this time in your plank, You might want to roll over the toes and roll back over and stretch into dog. Roll over the toes and back over. Lovely. Chaturanga to your up dog and push back to your down dog. Lift up and seating yourself down on the floor. Excellent. So then, having taken those slight hip openers, let's take the variation here. So, a half cow face position. Bend the legs. Left leg through to the outside. Okay, bring the heel to the outside. Keep those sit bones nicely level. If you need to prop yourself for this one, feel free to grab a sofa cushion at this point. Take a pause and just settle yourself here. Cross the leg over, but this time I don't want it all the way over. So your starting position here is just with the leg just at the other side of the knee and the foot drawing in. So it's literally just on the top of the kneecap here. Push down through both feet, lift up, get your pelvis nicely leveled. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, spin. So suck the belly in, firm up the legs and spin. Lovely. If you know you can go further, once you've done this first position, bring that leg in a bit further and take it a bit deeper. If you want to go into the bound version, and you can, oh, I'm a bit sweaty, so it might not work. Take a deep breath in. Lovely. Firm those legs up. Squeeze. Lovely. Release off. Yeah, there goes the sweat. Spin. Take the legs out again. Stretch out. Draw the buttocks backwards and the top of the thighs just lightly out. Sit up nice and tall. Bend both legs and bring the left leg through this time. Heel out to the side. Again, feel free to prop yourself up high. Draw that right leg across just behind the knee to start with. Firm and splay the feet. Press the feet into the floor and lift up and out. Level up the pelvis. Just check what's going on through this right sit bone here. If you're on a cushion, it's slightly different. Take a deep breath in. Spin, firm up the belly. Spinning nice and tall through the spine as you spin to the side. Breathing here. This is nice and comfortable for you. Then bring that leg in a little bit. Just adjust here. Take a deep breath in. Up and over. Take the bind. Bend at the elbow. Whoa, sweaty Betty. And firm the legs. Splay the feet. Press into the floor. Draw the legs together. Firming up the belly. Lovely. Release that off. Release the legs. Excellent. Half vinyasa. This time, so your comfy side, you'll always catch your feet and pull them in. Take it the uncomfy side. Oh, this is going to feel odd. Whoa. What it does do is give a little massage to the calves on the way through. So you can get into the habit of taking a slow flow here to keep warm and just walk the shin along the length of the calf, rolling as you go. So into high plank, chaturanga to up dog, and push back to your down dog. Take a deep breath in. I'm going to sit sideways now. So here we go. Pull the fleshy bits back, top of thighs out, legs straight out of position here. So carefully does it then. We're going to bring ourselves into this catch position. So we're going to think about lifting up these thighs and drawing them back. Okay. So if you're propped, just be careful with this one. So hands on top of thighs, almost the base of the hip flexors here going into the quads. Roll the shoulders back and down. Press up, up, up. Lift, draw the shoulders together and breathe out, lengthen. I don't necessarily want you to get your tummy onto your thighs. What I want you to do is keep lengthening, lengthening. It doesn't have to be very big. Okay, it doesn't have to be a big movement. I want to feel activity in the back. Splay the toes, the feet. Firm up the legs. Lovely. Breathe in, release off, and settle for a moment. Half vinyasa. Cross your legs. Easy side this time. Roll through. Give yourself a little roller through the calf. And when you're ready, through. Up you go. Breathing in and breathing out. Settle for a moment here in your down dog, and when you're ready, jumping yourself through to seated. So, a few minutes left then of the process here, of going through the series. We haven't got very far through the seated poses. So, I'm going to take our lying poses here. So this is where we're going to activate the tummy and final analysis just before we go down to Shavasana. So I'd like you to lie on the mat. I'm going to take two variations on poses here, which are going to be quite different to what you're used to. So first of all then, we're going to warm up the abs, okay, and then stretch them out in the opposite direction. So we're going to bring ourselves down to the floor. Settle yourself here. Going to cross the legs. So here, into a lying eagle pose. So Supta Garudasana. Straight legs and cross them at the thigh as best you can. Bend the knees and wrap round. Settle the backs of the pelvis. Draw the knees into the chest. Tuck the chin in. And then the left knee before you, usually. So left leg over right. So right arm over left. So again, straight arms. Cross as deeply as you can and bring into position. Draw the arms down the back. Okay, draw the knees in. Splay the feet. Then keep that tension, I shouldn't say tension, keep that firmness as you lower the feet down to the floor. Slowly does it. Try not to let that back arch. Release off. Hug knees into the chest. Just gentle Apanasana here, widening the legs if you need to. Quick happy baby if you feel that you need to. Hips should feel nice and open now, as should the lower back. Okay, so right leg over left this time, straining the legs, cross the thighs as deeply as you can. So as if you're holding a wee in. Bend the knees, splay the feet. Draw the legs into the belly as you tuck the chin in. This time, right over left. Big straight arms, cross over the upper arms. Draw in, squeeze, draw the shoulders down the back, draw the legs in, flare the feet. Firming up through the abs, pelvic floor, legs. Breathing here, squeeze, and then breathing. 5, lowering the feet. 4, 3, 2, firming up the abs to stop the back from arching. And carefully 1. And where's the floor? There it is. Release off. Knees to chest, Apanasana. Stir it around. Happy baby, catching the inside here. Draw the legs down. Taking one side before we take the bridge poses. Firm the leg. Float it off the floor. Draw the leg in as you push this heel up and then draw the knee to the outside. Sucking everything in, hold, flare both feet and draw in. Lovely, swap sides, cycle it through, stretch through, flare the feet, push up and then draw down. Firm up and hold. Strong work this, take care if you've got low back issues. Apanasana, lovely. Then, feet to outside of the mat. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit and try and work out how best to do this. Okay, so I'm going to use my big mat, so it's going to involve rather unattractive angle. Sorry about that. Okay, so press your feet, sorry, your fingers behind your knees, squeeze the calves as you bring the heels as close as you can to the bottom. Going to hold the side of the mat now, so grip, lift up, grip the mat. Okay, walk your shoulders underneath, lift the heart, tuck the chin in. Deep breath in, you can lift the heels, but then attempt to lower them down. So breathe in and breathe out. Lift into your bridge and just grab and walk yourself forward. Hold here, press and lift, big styly. Keep the head nice and straight. Safety in the neck. Breathing here, hold, breathe, hold. Breathe, not holding the breath, drawing the feet in, pressing through the feet into the floor. Lovely, release that off, carefully lower it down. One more pose here, hug the knees in, No inversion today, just because I'm increasingly aware that taking inversions through in a video class is a bit tricky. I'm not able to check in on your conformation of your shoulders, the safety of the neck and everything. So feel free, if you want to slot your inversion in here instead of this next pose. So the next pose is a walking bridge. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Bear with. So carefully does it then, into the same position, coming back into your bridge, get your legs nice and close and catch that mat. Draw yourself up into that bridge pose, and then we're going to keep drawing forward as the knees disappear over the feet, and to a big stretch of the psoas, hip flexors through the quads, pressing and firming down through the toe joints, stretching and lengthening, tucking the chin in, popping the heart center up, and hold. Lovely. Possibility here of taking it down to your full hero virasana pose if you prefer, but take care just through those ankles. Carefully walk yourself back. You feel, release it off, hug the knees in, lift up high, curl the tail off the floor, stir in one direction, stir in the other, taking our, while I rearrange my mat, taking our lying twists here, staying in your inversion if you're in inversion. So, arms out, cactus. Okay, backs of hands on floor, cactus arms, maybe slightly lower than the shoulders. Just press through the feet and kick the heels, the bum out, hips out to the right a little bit, and then roll the legs down inside each other and turn away. Still firming up, still opening up. Try to release off. Breathing here. Head back up to center before you then right the legs. Scoot the hips the other side, lowering down to the floor and turning away this way. Don't worry if the legs go, don't do it down to the floor. It's quite an awkward one, this one. The scooch out of the hips is deliberate to try and free up the lower back a little bit. Deep breath in, back to center, head back to center. Lift the knees up, center yourself. Hug the knees in again, stir around. Option here, if you prefer to, particularly after those bridge poses, if you felt that just really sort of released the weight from the chest. Lots of people are complaining they feel that they've got a weight on their chest, and this is not to do with the symptoms of the virus. This is to do with the level of anxiety that we're having to live with at the moment. So if you feel that you just need to open up, feel free to get a couple of sofa cushions, maybe even 3, and just get your bum hanging off one, your head off the other end, and just get yourself in that lovely arched, concave, almost sort of concave back position. Carefully does it, obviously note to those who've got a bad back. So release yourself into your shavasana when you are ready. Find where it's comfortable, and if that for you today is lying in a fetal position on your right hand side, that is also fine. Settle yourself now into position. Open up the hands if you can. No part of the body touching each other part of the body unless you're on your side. Breathing here. Band is now released. Focus very much now back onto the body and the breath. Obviously it should have been there the whole practice, but if we're all listening to me as well, it's easy to get sort of taken up with less mindful things. So 3 deep sighing breaths. Inflating the belly, taking the breath all the way up to the top, breathing out. One more time. All the way up to the top, getting as much of that lung capacity working. Now as you just let the breathing rate settle, nothing forced, relaxing here.
Let the body grow heavy. Submit to gravity. Taking your awareness to your heart center. And with every breath in, creating space here. Imagine breathing into your heart center, or if it's easier, imagine yourself breathing into your hand on your chest. If your mind starts to wander, notice that your mind is wandering and bring it back to the breath, back to the body. You can repeat the mantra to yourself with the utmost respect and love. I honour my heart, my inner teacher. With the greatest respect and love, I honour my heart, my inner teacher. With the greatest respect and love, I honour my heart, my inner teacher. If you're able to stay longer in your Shavasana, then enjoy. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.